Chico, why some dogs are more important than others when it comes to breeding the American Pit Bull Terrier? Well, that's a very good question. It happens to every great breed. There are some dogs that are the pillars of the breed through every generation. You must have these elements. If you don't have these elements, there are super dogs that within the next 10 years, next 20 years, they can shine in performance, in quality, in genetics, on everything above everything else. If you don't have those dogs, an entire breed can just disappear. Let me explain to you something. Being alive and just being a dog doesn't mean you are a particular breed. Being a particular member of a particular breed, that doesn't mean you sustain the breed. Because what matters is not everyone to sustain the breed. What matters are the best dogs of that particular breed to sustain that particular breed. And was those dogs that are absolutely extraordinary, they're not coming around because the men that produce them are not existent. They don't have the existence. Life change. There's no men sacrificing themselves. They don't have men that can produce great dogs by having a great eye to produce great dogs. They don't have the ecosystem to produce the great dogs. Once that happens, the entire breed starts to exist. So for instance, you look at the American Pit Bull Terrier breed and you go to Google and you put the state of the American Pit Bull Terrier and you put American Pit Bull Terrier. All those dogs that you see there are not American Pit Bull Terrier. And that's why they keep changing. That's why you see so many different types, so many different kinds of dogs. Because everyone has their own version of the dog that is not the dog. And everyone has some excuse why the dog is actually the dog, but it's not really the dog. And so when you're looking at these dogs by a specific bloodline, and the people that actually created the bloodline, that developed the one dog, so you always have, and this is very curious, you always have a one name of one dog, of the name of a man within the bloodline. When you have the name of the dog, rather the name of the man rather than the dog, you actually get the expertise of the man while he's creating the dog. Most of the times when you get the name of the bloodline by a dog, what you have is what people think genetics. And the way they see it is so wrong, because they think that by having a relationship, a bloodline, well, not bloodline, well, bloodline of course, but a blood relationship, that guarantees quality. And they are so wrong. I will tell you the story again of Michael Jordan and his brothers, 5.4, 5.6, whatever their height is, and he is 6.7, 6.9. And it's not because Michael Jordan is 6.9 that he's better. Maybe he could have been also maybe 7 or 9 foot tall. What makes him better is the accolades, the merits. Once you get those merits out of Michael Jordan, he's a common guy. But those merits allow him to become a superstar and the GOAT of basketball. Now his brothers don't have that. And his brothers might have some genetic trails that are from him that are likable. They might have children that also play basketball in some levels, but they never achieve the level of Michael Jordan. And that's why these levels. The level is really what marks the difference. And when you have a dog that is the bloodline, then many people participate on that dog. And when they participate, they bring in other components. They bring in females and stuff like that, and their own ideas. And every man, he should be an expert on how to create a great dog without having expertise. Because they think it's a simple formula of just taking milk and coffee, and I make coffee. I create a cappuccino. And that's not how it works. It's a bit more complex. It's a bit more complex than genetics. Because the American Pit Bull Terrier, if you want to learn anything from this video, has a component of competition. And that component of competition can be measured by the level of the merits and measured by the level of the accolades, the competition they have. That's why people say LeBron James and these other guys don't have the same level of competition that Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan face. So when you face weak competition, even if you got the merits, you're not on the level. So there's many things that are to be considered to be on the level. And that's why some dogs of some generations are better than other dogs. But the main thing, just like in anything else in your life, when you're going to buy a pair of shoes, when you're going to buy a pencil, when you're going to buy something of quality, you're going to buy something that's good, a car, motorcycle, a telephone, an iPhone. You buy that iPhone, you buy that Samsung, either because you're in a budget, you don't have enough money, that's what you can afford, so you get the cheaper phone. But if you can actually afford great things in life, then you buy the best phone possible, because the best phone possible has a better camera, better this, better whatever. It has a better network. Maybe the network of all the applications that only exist on the Apple side of things, maybe that makes more sense for you than even the camera. So there's different things that have to make sense in order to be great. And when it comes to the American Pit Bull Terrier, the most important thing is the quality of the breeder. And that has been lost today. People are looking for the color. People are looking for the color of the dog. They're looking for the color of the dog. And a lot of you that learn about these things will probably settle for a really miserable dog. You know, a blue dog, a cheesy dog, some bloodline dog. Because for you, maybe having a great American Pit Bull Terrier is not good enough. But some of you will decide they want to have puppies because you really love your dog, because he's yours, and you think he's the best dog in the world. And that dog has puppies, and you cannot keep all the puppies. You give them away at no cost. Everything that's given is cheap, and you sell them cheap because you're not a great breeder, so nobody's going to pay you much money for those dogs, and the dog's really not worth much. And some people are going to do the same thing you did. So by the time you look around 7, 8 years later, 10 years later, there's over 100 mutts that came out of that one decision of you breeding the dog. So the breeder, the people that breed in the neighborhoods, the kennels, the guys on the forums looking for an excuse for them to breed dogs. Some of them want to make money, some of them want to experiment. They don't call themselves breeders, but they only make 5 liters every so often. They already created over 500 dogs, 300 dogs out there. Those guys are guilty of the destruction of the American Pit Bull Terrier. That's right, the American Pit Bull Terrier is in the blink of destruction. And for those people that are like, oh no, we save it, just take a look at Google. Take a look at what you have done. You, your peers, your friends. Well, take a look at it. Take a look at Google. Go to images. Look at all these mutts. There's a collective experiment of everyone trying to be a breeder. Google and you'll find out. My name is Chico Lopez. I'm a real breeder with the best American Pit Bull Terriers. 123pitbulls.com, chicolopez.com. Take care. Bye-bye.